What's up, Gold Team? Today I've got a bit of a special video. From time to time, inspiration hits me and I come up with some weird use for a new item that I haven't been looked at before, or a move I've never really paid attention to, or a Pokemon I thought was worthless in the past but discovered something about. Today was one of those days. And let me be the first to say, so I don't hear this in the comments everywhere, this is a gimmick. Disclaimer, not actually a particularly viable thing. It's a gimmick, it's fun, and it can win. Um, so after all that's out of the way, one more thing I have to say before I get into the video here is I had a lot of help from one of my friends who I am trying to talk into doing a dual com with me. We'll see if he ever decides to do that. But he deserves a lot of credit. I'm sure he'll be watching this video. But thank you so much, man. And definitely, whenever you want to do a dual com, let me know. But anyways, let's get into what this gimmick is. And no, it's not Sash Spike's Omastar. This gimmick is the one, the only Magic Room. So, some of you probably don't know what Magic Room does, because it's never used competitively, which is kind of the whole idea here, is to take a move that no one ever uses and turn it into win condition. So Magic Room, for 5 turns, all held items have no effect. It's kind of like Trick Room, but instead of reversing speeds, it makes items have no effect. That means your items don't take effect, and your opponent's. Any kind of item, although with an exception of Mega Stones, you can still Mega Evolve while Magic Room is up, which is pretty lame. I was pretty disappointed when I found that out, but that's okay. That means you don't get lefties recover. You do not get your extra bulk with an Eviolite or Assault Vest. You don't get your speed or power with a Scarf or Specs or a Band. You don't take damage, and you don't do extra damage with a Life Orb. You can't activate your Berry. You can't activate anything. Your items are worthless for 5 turns, and so are your opponents. So at first look, you can kind of see why no one uses it. It seems kind of worthless. But I think I found an interesting way to make it viable. I will show you guys a battle in which I use it successfully. But let me kind of go over it first off. On this team, I've got 2 members that partner up with this Uxie. It's just got kind of rest of the moves that'll help them set up. I have Meloetta here with Calm Mind, Sub, Psyshock, and Hyper Voice. And I have Virizion here with Swords Dance, Sub, Close Combat, and Leaf Blade. So you guys are probably looking at me, or looking at your screen, I guess, like I'm crazy. Because, you know, Choice Scarf with setup on 2 Mons. Yeah, actually, it works really well because, like I said, this video is all about Magic Room. For 5 turns, all held items have no effect. So what you do is you start with Uxie here. You set up a screen if you want to. You set up your Magic Room, and you Memento. For those who don't know Memento, you lower your target's attack and special attack by 2, and you faint. So basically, it's kind of like Explosion, but instead of doing damage, you lower their stats. So, you Memento after setting up maybe a screen, maybe 2, and a Magic Room. Then you pick either one of these guys. I usually use Virizion, so I'll give him as an example here, or her. In your Magic Room, your Choice Scarf acts like it's not there. You basically have no item, your opponent has no item, whatever. You just completely negate the Scarf. And so, for the couple turns remaining in your Magic Room, probably like 2 or 3 turns left, depending on what happened before Uxie went for Memento, you could take that opportunity to set up, even though you have a Scarf. So you can set up a Swords Dance, you can set up a Sub, you can do both of them, whatever. You take the opportunity to set up. Then, once Magic Room disappears, the game's like, oh yeah, these guys have items. Look, Virizion is scarfed. Virizion, what move do you want to lock into? And so then you take your set up Virizion, and you're like, okay, I want to lock into Close Combat. And so then, from there on out, you've got a Scarfed Virizion, except it's at +2 attack and behind a Sub. So it works out really well. This is the best use I've had for Magic Room, not the only use, but this is by far the best use. And let me just show you a video for those of you who are like, okay, yeah, maybe that would work. That's a whole lot of effort and probably never happens. I told you I was testing this with my friend today. We spent like all day doing it, and both of our first battles with, it wasn't this team, it was like type or version 1 of this team. This is like the final product here. Both of our first battles, we pulled it off, got sweeps. I'm not saying you're always going to do this. If you're playing a good opponent or an opponent with a well-prepared team for this, it's probably not going to happen. But we both got it first try. It happens. It happens somewhat frequently. I gotta say, there are a decent amount of Pokemon that learn Magic Room. Uxie, probably the best. I guess if you want to go up to UU, stupid Moonduck gets it. But Uxie allows you to be in RU. Anyways, enough blabbing about what happens. Let's see it in action. Let's see a demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and just cut to the battle. See you there. What's up, guys? I'm going to try to use this as a bit of a guide to show you how this gimmick works. And so first you have to pick which Pokemon you think is going to have the best chance at sweeping, and with what move. I think it's going to be Virizion with Close Combat. Next to identify threats to stopping that sweep. Mostly Bronzong in this case. I'd like some damage on Durant, but may not be necessary if I get to +2. Then you start off by setting up hazards, unless there's a really good reason not to. That is not a really good reason not to. I just go straight for the rocks. He bulks up. Bulks up? I don't know what you call that. Now I just go right for Scald, because this should do a good amount. I catch the burn. Got real lucky there. He catches a crit, which negates the burn entirely. But, anyways, I'm just going to go for one more Scald now. No, that's not a Scald. That's a Scald. There we go. Phew! I catch a crit. There's just hacks everywhere. So he's at 39% after all that residual recovery and HP reduction. So let's see here. I'm trying to think of the best way to hurt Bronzong. I don't actually have to kill it. I just want some damage on it. So I think Hitmontop, intimidating the Scrafty, and I can just fire off a Close Combat now. This may not 100% kill, but I bet it does. And it's burnt anyways. Yeah, there we go. So Hitmontop claims a victim. If he goes into either of his steel types, yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to get off a Close Combat for damage here. Because like I said, I just really need some damage on Bronzong. I'd prefer to have more on Durant. Like, if I had a chance to get up a Spike, instead of having to worry about that Scrafty setting up, I'd feel a lot more comfortable right now. But I think this just means I need to get 2 Swords Dances up with my Virizion. As, yep, he goes for Psyshock. I mean, this is pretty great for me. It's got lefties, okay, but I'm just going to try and get as much damage on the Bronzong as possible. I've got him at just over half after lefties. And you know what? I'm feeling it's time to do the thing. So we're going to go into Uxie. You start off by picking what Pokemon you're most afraid of. In this case, it's the physical attackers, so I'm going to set up a Reflect. As he Shadow Balls me, I'm not too bothered by that. He can do that all day if he wants. I'm going to Magic Room now. In addition to everything else, it'll stop the Bronzong from recovering with lefties, which is actually pretty nice considering this thing is a bit of a threat if it gets too much HP. He switches into Durant, which is actually really good for me. Now I get to Memento this Durant, assuming he doesn't crit me through the screen. He not only has to hit Hustle, but he has to crit me to kill my Uxie here. I'm going to have 3 turns of Magic Room for my Virizion. Okay, he does hit me, he does not crit me, which is beautiful. So I'm going to have 3 turns of Magic Room for Virizion to set up. So once you're in the Magic Room, like I said, this is your chance to do all the setup that you have to do to win. So I think in this battle, Swords Dance is the most important part. So I'm going to get up a Swords Dance right now as he goes for X Scissor, which is not doing enough to break a sub. Beautiful. We've got 2 more turns left. So I think one more Swords Dance, like I was saying. I think I need 2 to win this one. And the next turn, we're going to have to make a decision whether we want to sub. Okay, he does switch into Bronzong, which I believe makes this decision easier. I think I just sub down right now and proceed to win, as he does Shadow Ball. And so now the Magic Room is gone. You're all set up. Now you have to pick a move to lock into. For me, Close Combat's the obvious choice. So with my first turn, I lock into Close Combat and take out Bronzong. Now your opponent's scrambling. They're like, alright, what do I outspeed this thing with? What can take a hit? So he's going to go into Gallade here and hope he can take a hit. No, he's got Shadow Sneak. Okay, so he breaks my sub off with that, and I just wreck it because I am +4. Now my Reflect is gone. Now is when the gimmick comes in. I am actually Choice Scarf, as you guys know by now. He has no idea, and he has no reason to know that. Because I've gone for Sub, Swords Dance, and Close Combat, he has no idea I'm Scarfed. So this should really catch him off guard. And boom, Durant goes down. If I were him, I would be like dumbfounded right now, super confused, checking my EVs, and he just forfeits. He knows it's over. But that's exactly how this works. That was a perfect example. And I mean, I have countless more examples. I was just trying to get one live for you guys. So really, that's exactly how this is supposed to work. I hope you guys enjoyed this gimmick, and I think I'll make a new video about Magic Room later, kind of explaining some of my other uses for it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.